away. And
such an iconic.
Well, I don't want to brag. It's not the time.
You got to get a cigar and it got to be lit, even inside or outside.
And how much money in his pocket? See,
about 10 stacks.
You knew
with a rubber band on it.
He always,
Coach, Trubisky. You got to have at least 10,000 if you're going to be Coach Dick. That's how much cash he has every day.
That was the best thing Mitch Trubisky did all day. So I applaud him.
Yeah, screen pass.
Showing up to the game. Little screen pass to Tariq Cohen.
Yeah, Bears fans wonder, is that a trick or a treat?
But they got to win without Khalil Mack. Khalil Mack missed the first game of his career yesterday, so good for the Bears. That was a cool little costume.
All right, let's talk some Packers and Rams. The Rams were 9.5-point favorites over Green Bay. Jumping ahead to the fourth, Aaron Rodgers finds Marquez Valdes-Scantling for the touchdown. That puts Green Bay up 1. Later in the fourth, Todd Gurley from 23 yards outstops at the 37. They improved to 8-0. Here is Aaron Rodgers after the loss.
Yeah, very disappointing. That play didn't lose the game, but it definitely took away an opportunity for us to go down and win it.
Obviously, the plan there is to stay in the end zone. 2 minute. We actually talked about it as a team. It's clearly probably the best situation that both sides of the ball handle right now. That's what those games come out to. There's their decisions. And then Ty's in that decision situation, and I'm sure Ty was trying to make a play. So. I don't know exactly how deep he was, if it was close, but I think we all realized that with the management of the clock and where we wanted to be there, we wanted to be north of 2 minutes with the one timeout. We want to put the ball in Aaron's hands, but you also you trust your players. Tough decisions, close decisions, and like I said, I think Ty was just trying to make a play.
Perhaps Ty Montgomery should not have been trying to make a play. What did you think of what was your reaction to the Packers' loss yesterday?
Well, I didn't think going into this game that it was going to come down to special teams, and really it was. The Rams had the fake punt, which they executed really well, and then they pinned Green Bay down. They were able to get the safety after that and then score, and that really changed the game dramatically the first half, and then it comes down to the end, where if Aaron Rodgers has the ball with 2:05 left, you love his chances. I like the fact that Green Bay defensively was able to get pressure, be disruptive, show some things that they really haven't shown on a consistent basis throughout this part of the season. And look, with Green Bay, they can play with anybody. And as long as Aaron Rodgers is healthy and he's getting healthier, they're going to be in the mix. This was disappointing, but it just shows that they're going to be in the mix throughout the course of the season.
To your point on Green Bay's defense, that rookie, Jair Alexander, played a tremendous football game, the best football game of his young NFL career. And I think they would have won it. I mean, I can't prove it, but if you would have asked me in that moment, once Zuerlein kicks that field goal, I'm like, okay, so Rodgers doesn't even need a touchdown? He just needs a field goal in perfect conditions, 2:05 and the 2-minute warning. Coach, that's him returning that kick, even if he doesn't fumble, is a bad play because of the clock, right? You want to make sure you have the 2-minute warning at your disposal. You're hoping the other team kicks it into the end zone so you have the opportunity to take the knee. That's something the special teams coach or the head coach has to be telling him, and almost assuredly did tell him before the kick.
The coach told him.
McCarthy said we talked about it as a team. I didn't know if he meant generically, situationally, or
we talked about as a special team. Before you, there's a timeout right there. Everyone gathers up, and we're all on the same page. The only way that he's going to bring that ball out is if Zuerlein hits it low. And he hits a line drive. That's the only time, especially you have the 2-minute warning there. You want to be able to save that. It's like an extra timeout. So he did go over it. Ty Montgomery blew this, and it wasn't only that play. Typically, when you make a mistake, coaches say don't have that mistake lead you to make other mistakes. But Ty Montgomery made a couple other mistakes that led up to him making that mistake. Blitz protection. He tried to chip a guy, missed him, which led to a sack. And then ultimately, you could see this in the end where he was trying to make a play, trying too hard. There were, I think, 6 kickoff opportunities before this. There were 3 touchbacks. So it wasn't like he was like, oh, I don't know what he's going to do. Half the time, they were touchbacks. He should have stayed in the end zone on this one because you have to play the game in real time. You got to give your superstar that extra timeout and get the ball at the 25-yard line.
And one of the most disappointing things is if they did go through it and they talked about it on the sideline and they reinforced, look, if this is in the end zone, take a knee, we keep the stop at the 2-minute warning, and then he decides to come out. Chris talks about this a lot. When guys are trying to make a play, typically they do, but it's not for you, it's for the other team.
Yes.
When you start operating outside of the framework of the game plan, and we saw it with Richard Sherman a couple weeks ago where, he decides, I'm going to go inside, I'm going to cover this guy, and he gets the defensive holding on third and 400 yards.
Yep.
So, and that happens more often than not. If you stay within the framework of the plan, typically good things happen. You start jumping out of that, and usually it helps.
In that
opponent.
situation, the coach tells you put your heels on the goal line. And if the ball forces you to go backwards, it's an easy decision. If I go back any, I'm going to stay, unless it's a line drive. If it's in front of me, I'm catching everything in front of me and returning it. So it's pretty simple. Put your heels on the goal line. If the ball forces you to go backwards, I'm going to stay in there.
I'm glad you brought up the punt. There was the fake punt, which was really well designed, but the biggest play of the first half was the punt by Hecker, downed by Shields at the inch line. If that goes into the end zone, the Packers have the ball, up 10-0, inside of 3 minutes in the first half. They are almost assuredly going into the half up at least 10, maybe 13, maybe 17. But this play by a former Packer, Sam Shields, who thought his career was ended due to concussion, leads to a sack or a safety, which then leads to a touchdown.
And that was a mistake by the returner. The returner should have been running the other way. He brought the defenders to the play. He should have been at the 10-yard line. The ball goes over your head. You are a decoy. So you got to be going to your far left to take one of those gunners away. That ball goes into the end zone.
Because the gunner doesn't know where the ball's going. The gunner's watching the return.
They're watching you, and typically you tell the guy to make it very dramatic. So they're waving their hand like they're going to fair catch it, but they're trying to bring everybody away because you only need a beat or two for that ball to go into the end zone. You just got to draw them away enough. Or you go, if you're going to go over there, you go block the first guy. Right. You don't fair catch. You go up and you blow up the first guy down so the ball has a chance to go into the end zone.
For the Rams, this is how you have a special season. A game where you were outplayed offensively and defensively, your special team steals one for you. Like, this is how the difference between going maybe 12-4 and being the 2 seed and 14-2 and potentially being the 1 seed can be games like this. This was an excellent win for the Los Angeles Rams, where I thought the Packers played better than them throughout.
Rams 8-0 right now. At halfway point, are they the best team? I'm just kidding. We'll talk about that. Coach will steal later in the show. Coming up, can Carson Wentz lead the Eagles back to the playoffs? That's next on First Things First.
I feel it's a crime we ain't mentioned Aaron Donald with those 3 sacks.
What? 2 sacks, 3 TFLs, 10 in his last 5 games.